Welcome to episode 493 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
Boys,
Did
it's
you
been
say
fucking
Glenn?
forever.
No, I said my name.
Oh, okay.
Maybe your shirt is hindering your
say
ability to hear.
Gland. What?
It sounds like he said, like, Glan.
It's my accent. It's my accent. Sorry, it's my Western Sydney accent.
The Toowoomba
I'm very exotic.
accent.
I'm a very exotic man. My name is
Toowoomba
Glenn.
accent.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Anyway, it's been ages, boys, since we recorded. We didn't record on Monday night. And going forward, we're not going to be doing Monday nights until the end of the season, just through the sheer lack of number of games and everything to recap and everything. So episodes will go for no time at all, I suppose.
Well,
but
there's no fucking point now that we don't have the predictor.
well, I mean, you can we can predict what happens in the finals.
Yeah, but you don't need a fucking...
Yeah, because imagine how riveting it would be if every episode we make up the potential matchups all the way up to the grand final, and then every single round you go through the entire matchups of teams that are left. Fucking riveting. That's like as riveting as Glennie doing inventory circa 2014 or whatever that would have been.
This is amazing. Cunts have got such great memories for that, but can't.
They got such affection for it.
Yeah,
it's like
just
like
remember it like it was
imagination.
yesterday. Yet still don't have the memory of the times where they got up on a stage and fucking pretended they were a stand-up comedian, but can remember the fucking inventory on a podcast.
Well,
12 years ago.
The thing about the inventory thing is it wasn't like a bit either. It was just something that we were doing because there was a box of shirts and that next to my desk.
We're like, oh, look, this is what we got here. Because we never really looked at it like, this is a podcast and we're providing entertainment. It's always been and always will be a few cunts talking shit in front of a microphone and put out. And at that time, we got some new shirts in. We had a little bit of a count.
Yeah, about the time as well, it was like people were like, like slamming, Glenn for doing the inventory and all that sort of thing. Oh, fuck, it was so boring. But now, almost a decade later, probably from when that happened, it's like it's a fond flashback.
Yeah,
it's a fond memory.
That's it.
It just goes to show that when you're the a listener or a fan of something, your opinion is fucking ridiculous and is bound to be proven wrong by time. So keep to your fucking self, all right, cunt. Now.
But we hope your day has been as special as you are.
Yes. Now, do you have anything to report from the weekend for your week? Before we jump in, boys.
Father's Day, quality as always.
Oh yeah, Father's Day.
Yeah, I always love it. We had a great day, and Jackson's birthday on Monday. Also, can't believe I have a fucking 15-year-old child. Makes me feel very old. Who's now? He's officially got me height wise. I used to
He's
blame
like
it
a
on
foot tall. He's like a
not
foot
a
taller
foot
than you.
taller.
Fucking
Can't.
foot tall.
Listen, I don't mind you having a crack at me, but let's try and keep
your
it
photo.
factual.
When you put photos on the internet, you can actually see. Like you can literally see.
I was standing in a ditch.
And for 3 years, you've made him stand 3 paces behind you in photos.
You guys are fuckheads.
He's got you by closer. He's closer to a foot than not.
Fuck out of here,
Seriously.
cunt.
Yep.
You can't count his hair.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
If he wants to go around like fucking Kid and Play, just to add an extra foot to his height, then so be it.
Oh, I had to have the conversation that we have to have every once in a while, mate. We made a deal. We had a compromise about your hair. I think it's about time you toddled off to the barber and got yourself tidied up a bit. I'm not cutting the top. You can get the top tidied up, do a little bit of maintenance. So I'm not cutting the top. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just go and ask him to do a bit of maintenance on the top so it keeps growing and doesn't look like a fucking bird's nest.
Do you know what you do, Glennie? Fucking just a bit of Nair solution in his fucking shampoo.
I don't want to ruin the child. Jesus.
He'll grow back. Well, I mean, no, it didn't. I mean, potentially in his future, it won't grow back. But
Yeah, genetically, some would say
I mean, he's got a couple of years left, I think.
Can you imagine that? The poor kid would go to bed with that blissful bit of doubt in his mind that he might not be related to you. Wakes up with just completely proven.
I think he is starting to wonder because I've taken to telling him every time he annoys me, or is a smart ass. I'll tell him, "Oh, geez, I'm glad you're adopted. I'm glad you're adopted. Can't wait till you're 18 and I can give you the papers and you're officially my duty here is done." You guys enjoy your Father's Day?
Yeah, mate. Always.
Yeah.
Mate, I had a great Father's Day. To continue coaching the boys' basketball team, I had to get certified. And, of course, the certification course was on Father's Day, which was fantastic planning. So I got
we
dropped
did
off.
discuss that last week. I was like, what the fuck?
I got dropped off at the home complex and actually had a fucking great day. So out of a 5-hour course, we did some time in the classroom. Like, you can't swear at kids. This is how you deal with shithead parents.
Did you take that part of the class? Like, did you stand up in front and say, "This is how you handle it"?
Man, even at under 11s, right? So this team, right? It was under 11s, and not a player on the team was 10 years old. So they were all between the ages of 7 and 9 playing up. Now that means that they've got some basic skills, but they don't have any of the tenure or height or anything else that a 10 or 11-year-old's got. And for a couple of these kids, it was their first competitive team sport. Right? At least one of them had special needs. And I still had parents coming at me angry with the way I was coaching them and that I wasn't, they're not good enough at defense.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
Oh, yeah. What I will say about our club, though, is they don't take any shit from that.
Yeah.
And they will 100% always stand by the coach, which is great. But the worst bit was there was a complaint from someone outside at the way there were a couple of people were behaving on the sideline at an under 11s Div 3 club game.
Wow.
So, but on Father's Day, after an hour or 2 hours in the classroom, we just got to fucking play basketball for the rest of the day. So there were a bunch of middle-aged, past their prime guys in the gym together, just go Kobe all day. So,
Yeah, good.
oh, it was fantastic.
How many points you have, mate?
What did you say?
How many points did you have? Just dropped a lazy 40?
Oh no, mate, we weren't keeping score. We were keeping score of the noises we were making as we shot.
It was $10 a basket. Although they tried to integrate their love of poker with their love of coaching children's basketball.
Yeah, look, so I kind of feel that I've ticked the box off. I just narrowly missed out on an and one contract back in the 90s, so I feel as if I've now fulfilled that dream. And 40.
How good.
Right. So, first things, what are we getting to first? I mean, it's going to be an old school merged episode this time. So we're going to have the news and the recaps and the previews and everything all jammed into one.
Yep.
So what shall we start with this week, boys?
Let's review. Let's review first.
review first. Okay, you want to do news first? Okay.
No, I do
we can we can review first. Then. Okay, so we go back to round 25, and the first game we had there on the Thursday was the Parramatta Eels 22 defeating the Melbourne Storm 14. The Eels 22 came through tries to Dylan Brown, Penasini, Sivo, Moses 3 conversions, 2 penalty goals, defeating the Storm's 14. Tries to Harry Grant, Nick Meaney, and Noffa, with 1 conversion to Meaney. And that's it.
I was impressed with how Para handled Melbourne's pack.
Yeah.
I think whilst Para's got some big bodies in that forward pack, I would have anticipated that the Storm would have laid a much heavier platform for guys like Munster and Harry Grant to play off the back of, and I felt like Para really nullified a lot of what Melbourne tried to do in the middle, and then Brown and Moses, and as much as it pains me to admit it, I've got to give Gutho a little bit of credit as well. They, took full advantage of that extra time and space, and just went about their business, and there was good meters out wide, and I think Para, they put on some slick tries with really handy ball playing, and the skill players really stood up based on what the pack were doing. So I was impressed by that.
Yeah, I mean, Melbourne's ball control and discipline again was fucking terrible. But I also think
that's it.
I also think that they might have been suffering a little bit from the week before's game as well, which was a full on finals-esque encounter against the Roosters.
Yep.
And not to mention they did rest Hughes for starters, which is clearly a signal that while obviously they would like to have won this game and finish in the top 4, I think a home game at Amy Park in round 1 of the finals versus an away game facing the Panthers is probably not the worst. They probably took the odds through that. With that being the other outcome, then it probably wasn't the worst thing that could happen anyway. And if they could rest some guys and reload, for the next week, then so be it.
Yep. And look again to your point, I'm not sure Craig Bellamy is ever going to go into a game thinking, shit, we need to lose this one. And they obviously would have wanted the extra life.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be too disappointed with where they are on the ladder. Speaking of the game, though, I think to your point, he will be absolutely ropeable at their ball control and the field position they gifted Parramatta.
Yeah, particularly in the first half. They were up against it for the entire first half.
Yeah, that's it.
Defensively, just because of that, just because of the ball control.
And that's been a storm of... that's been the story of a lot of Melbourne's season. They went through a slump, which we all said we've never seen them experience before. Yeah, I mean, whilst personally I'd still back them to get it right in the finals based purely on experience and the coaching of Bellamy, that they are still making more uncharacteristic errors than ever.
Yeah,
which is a concern.
Yeah, exactly. And Parramatta just seem to look more energetic in the contest. You look over it. Parramatta had 6 errors. Melbourne had 12. And on top of that, 8 penalties. Right? So that sort of just handing field position and territory to the opposition is something that Melbourne hasn't really had to do before. Or had to cover off. So it'll be very interesting to see how they bounce back this week. But on the socials, Wade said Melbourne just need one more Munster. Someone help him. Rod, Nas is the new fake tough guy. Never does hero runs at anyone over half his size. Ricky, no team has ever won the comp when their starting second rower failed an HIA after a hit from Mitchell Moses. Who, and fuck, we've been some of his biggest detractors, both in terms of what he's done on the field and in terms of attitude he's displayed in there. But since coming back, what did he break his finger? Whatever it was. Since coming back, he's been in good form. He's been in really good form. Adam. Now, this is interesting. I reckon coming 5th is almost a better ladder spot this year. You play the Raiders next week, then play the loser of the Sharks and Cows.
Yeah.
Come fourth, you have to beat Panthers, if not play Roosters Rabbits winner.
Yep. Yep.
It's definitely the easier of the two.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, while they wouldn't have wanted to lose, I mean, that it's definitely, you know, that it's not the end of the world outcome.
Correct.
If they had a loss, and they could take the opportunity to rest some guys and stuff in the process. If they win, great. If they lose, fine.
Exactly. John said, "Well done, Para. They turned up and dropped the Storm's pants tonight. Storm are in decline since Noffa turned up." And we'll give the last word on that one to Grover, who said, "Who knew a patchwork backline would not be staunch in defence? Who knew that our edges will run in on a regular basis? Who knew Johns would be as effective in attack as Pete Evans' lamp against Rona? Munster played 3 positions tonight, 6-7-1, and his errors were born out of that pressure. I'm not sure how CB will deal with the whole Ricky is my mate, but fuck that guy because they beat us at home thing next week because we have moved from one bogey side to a bigger one next week. At least Husey will be back and money can just be money." So, TLDR, Storm fans
I was just going to say,
terrified of Canberra.
DL.
I didn't know this. Storm fans are terrified of Canberra.
Yeah, they are. Apparently
legitimately
Canberra.
fucking pants-shitting terrified.
Yeah, not of Canberra in general, but Canberra in their home. Yeah.
Can you imagine living like that?
No, I can't.
Like, are there fucking like charities where you have to grow strange facial hair set up for these people? That's a fucking terrible existence. Being afraid of Canberra.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they kind of deserve it. So
yeah, true. Fuck them.
You know, no GoFundMe's, no charities. Fuck them. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 21 defeated the mighty Manly Seagulls 20 at Accor Stadium. The Bulldogs tries to Burns, Docker, Clay, Shoop, Kyle Flanagan, 2 conversions to Birdo, a field goal to Birdo, defeating the Seagulls with tries to DCE, Christian Tuipulotu, Marty Tapau in his last game, thank Christ, Homoli Olakwatu, and 2 conversions to Daly.
All yours.
Yeah, this one, I mean, it goes down in the books as a loss, and but you know, and so really, you know, in terms of like ladder points, it may as well have been like, you know, the way that they lost against the Raiders the week before, or the Sharks the week before that, or you know, whenever the Sharks game was. But realistically, though, this one it wasn't too bad. I mean, they debuted or had a starting debut for a kid at fullback in a fucking monsoon, and coming up against Matt Burton and his kicks. And he actually did really well until the last 5 minutes when he lost the match by spraying one. But otherwise, you know, the kids they had there, had in there, they actually did the job. They looked like they were there to play, and particularly until the rain started pissing down and they started dropping the ball. I mean, they looked really fucking good. Even some of the departing guys like Dylan Walker and Marty Tapau, you know, had reasonable games. Andrew Davies was fucking hopeless, and he's almost responsible for the loss because it just seemed like he fucking dropped the ball every time the ball went out to him on the left, and he's usually a reliable guy, but, you know, perhaps showing why he doesn't have a deal for next year, or his deals seem to keep evaporating. I heard he'd re-signed with the Eels, and then I think the whole Papali'i potentially backflipping thing that kind of put that on ice, and then he was going to go to the Dogs, and, you know, I don't think that's happening either, so... You know, he made his debut, 2 years ago for Parramatta at about the age of 28, and I think his career may be coming to an end again already after a couple of reasonable seasons. But yeah, look, it's not a game that I think either team's going to take too much out of it. Birdo would love to play every game in a fucking typhoon because, I mean, that's literally the sum total of their attacking ability. Him putting up fucking kicks from hell. And you know, the conditions certainly helped that. But, yeah. Good, the end of the fucking season. Thank Christ. and finally. And I can't wait to fucking stop hearing about them in the news when the finals games start, essentially. If they get out of the news before the finals games start, because let's face it, we're fucking recording this on Wednesday night, and we still haven't seen an article about the finals just yet. Oh, tangentially, one about Latrell. But other than that,
Yeah, but even that's not
it's not
football related, is it?
It's Book of Feuds shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to get the spice going for those
But
guys.
this is
But
there are so many fucking spicy matchups tonight. This
well,
round.
they say. Well, I mean, this like they're saying like you're talking about like with the bogey team with the Storm and everything like that. And there's
Yeah.
like and there's heaps of drama and like actual parity and competitiveness in the Panthers versus the Eels and like
That's it. And more to that, they're two sides that fucking hate each other anyway. And there's that we own the West.
and it's a geographic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Manly had 6 line breaks to 2 in that game.
Yep.
The Dogs, where is it? Had. Oh my god, I've lost my fucking stats. The Dogs had 12 offloads to 4. So Manly, and it was apparent from the way
You got to remember we had 8 that Marty Tapau just threw to the Dogs.
Yeah, true. But
No, he only did one of those.
but Manly went into their shell playing a usual brand of wet weather football.
Yeah.
Whereas the Dogs didn't. Looking at it from a technical point of view, though, Manly played a textbook game of wet weather football. They kept their kicks low, their grubber count was high, their bomb count was low. The Dogs didn't. And I think that's great. It came off for him in this game, but Burton needs to be smarter.
Yeah, and he really did, and he could have gone through this game with nothing and getting slammed by his fans. But I mean, but for the fact that he did 2 things in the last 5 minutes,
Yeah,
that ultimately
exactly.
got him home. But also the other thing that makes me not too disappointed about this one is, I mean, going into this game without our first choice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 and fucking 2 bench players. I mean, the amount of fucking massaging of the side just to get a fucking
but
side on the field.
out of those, Tommy and his fucking half brother are the only half decent ones.
Well, he's
Like,
half. I
you're-
mean, I'm
you're
pretty
not
sure
like-
they're full. I'm pretty sure they're
You're
full
not like
brothers.
Penrith, where every first grader who's out actually matters.
Well, no, that's
Like
exactly
it's
right.
It's Tommy and Jake.
Yeah, well, that's
They're the
exactly
ones
exactly
He
right.
had 2 players out.
Yeah, well, no,
players
and
out.
Ruben Garrick as well. The first, and the best fullback in the game as well in Ruben Garrick. But and the
Future
funny
Newcastle Knight, Ruben Garrick.
well, I mean, if they can come up with the fucking freight.
Jesus Christ! there you go.
Spoiler, they can't. Oh, look! Don't get me wrong. I'd never want him to go there. I mean, other than the only standpoint that makes me want to go there is like if you can earn literally double your pay packet.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Then
Go
fucking
son.
young man, it's a fucking short career.
There's no
You
need to feel down.
Go and make
young
that,
man.
Go and make that. Go and make that money, and fucking and go make that money and secure yourself and your family's future in good health.
That would have been great if there was still a coach named Brown at that place. We would have been fucking off to the races with that parody.
Yes, but he's many coaches ago, and now he's the pathways manager for fucking the Parramatta Eels, isn't he?
Oh, fucking hell. Matthew said, I reckon Serraldo needs to cane Burton in the off-season, get him bigger and fitter and fix his defence. Yeah, it can be improved. Matthew, Foreign and JMK farewells. Both clubs having disrupted seasons for various reasons. While they're both lacking a bit of class or finesse, there's a lot of attitude and determination tonight, making for a good pub slot game. Well done on the Dairy Queen, sir. Jordan, sexy good bloke showing how good his coaching skills are by having his 2 former teams battle it out in one of the greatest bludgers of 2022.
I was going to say, it wasn't a fucking enjoyable game.
Enjoy your off-season, Eagles and
try and be Dairy Queen. I mean, admittedly, the conditions did play a large part of that, but still, I mean, it wasn't fucking great.
My favourite comedian, Timmy McIntyre, he said, let's pray
Mine
with
too.
Dez's last game. # fuck the Broncos.
That's like fucking. That's like a pineapple and pickled pizza. I mean, like it's just like, yeah, sure, they're great things, but I mean, like, do they go together?
David, so the Des Klein came faster than usual. Blacktown Eagles are also 2-20. The juniors they put all their faith into repaid the team by eating his feelings and looking more like a prop than a half. Trent Barrett off the market. Not many positives heading into 2023 for Manly. I'd say there's some gold at the end of the rainbow, but we know how they feel about those. There we are. Next game.
Who's that fucking loser? The Roosters 26 defeated the Rabbitohs 16 at Allianz Stadium. The Roosters 26 tries to Crichton, Walker, Tedesco and Butcher. 4 conversions from as many attempts to Sam Walker and a penalty goal. The Rabbits 16 tries to Mamazelis and a double to Tane Milne. Latrell 2 conversions and no more. Tass missed his.
I was impressed by Angus Crichton for the Roosters in this game. I think he's had a bit of a lull, and I feel like just in the last couple of months, he's working his way back into some of his best form, which the Roosters are going to need if they're to make any real noise in the finals.
Yep.
Tedesco had a big game, and I wonder if that was because he was up against Latrell and stepped up. Mitchell was reasonably well contained, I thought, by the Roosters, and came out in the media that, you know, he's played there, and, you know, that quite often they'd target individual play or train to target individual players, and obviously with a fair knowledge of his game and his skill set, Robinson had a pretty handy game plan to combat what he was going to bring to the table. So, all in all, pretty impressed by the Roosters, and I don't know, the Rabbits are going to be kicking stones over it.
No,
play him again this week, so I don't think
they back up immediately, and they rested Damien Cook, and you know, Cameron Murray was essentially rested because he was knocked out of the game in like the first minute or whatever. So
yeah,
so there's certainly, you know, a different Rabbit side that'll come out when it actually counts, and once again, I mean, the Roosters, like absolute beat down for the first half and beyond, but. Again, like that last 30 minutes, like what happened to Storm the week before, I mean, despite the fact that they've beaten them down, I mean, they do let some points in, and they do let it get closer than they should. Although the scoreline doesn't really reflect it, but, you know, the last 10 minutes of that game, the Rabbits were, you know, fairly on top, and you had a couple of opportunities there, and almost, you know, and needed like one more try. They almost scored to get them back within sort of striking distance.
That's it. So there was a full 10-minute stretch right at the end.
Yeah.
Where the Rabbits were looking like running over the top of them. Unfortunate thing for this one, I think, was the injuries that came out of it, and especially when they play each other this week. The big victory here, though, I think, is over being able to get in the heads of people like Latrell and Walker.
Yep.
Because that's South's very obvious Achilles heel. They are a team that fall off that attitude cliff. You know, very, very abruptly. As in, they'll use it to their advantage, and they'll use it as fuel, and a pissed off Cody Walker, or God forbid, a pissed off Latrell Mitchell, is a very fucking dangerous opponent. But then all of a sudden, through their own doing, if you can get them to that point of going too far, they become ineffective. And I think the Roosters have really taken the cookies for being able to do that this week.
The Roosters have got pretty good at it. I mean, they did it to the Storm the week before as well, they just seem to be able to like unleash, you know, a guy like Waria Hargraves on a team and to do all the grubby shit.
Yep.
And just sort of pull him back or get him out of the action in the nick of time.
Just enough.
And then let the other team, you know, self-destruct from all of the
and they don't lose anything when he goes off the field.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you know, you imagine if that was Kickout's job, and it was okay, we have to get him off now before this ball's over and he punches someone.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden you lose that strike weapon out there in your attack.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this game this weekend, actually. Ryan, in the Facebook group, said Cam Murray and opening minute head knocks. Is there a more iconic duo? Yeah, it's fucking
That's true. That's like 2 this year, isn't it?
Matthew, he said, in my 47 years on this planet, tonight is the first time I've ever heard a Roosters chant from the crowd. I'm not sure what that means, except it's probably time to say your prayers and hope that the apocalypse is quick and painless.
I'd say it's more likely piped in via the fucking PA in the new stadium.
Yeah, that's it.
If it's the first time.
Lachlan, he said, Mitchell hasn't just been quiet, he's been completely shut out. And Nick, I don't understand this one. You're going to have to explain this one to me. He said, Punch, Punch, Cuddle, Rapidos are a feel-good story before UFC Paris. What's UFC Paris?
UFC Paris was Sunday morning, our time. And there was and there was a couple of and you talk about Punch Punch Cuddle.
Oh no, I get that
so,
bit.
Yeah. So the UFC was on in Paris at like our time, like Sunday morning to lunchtime.
That was a thing.
Sunday.
He's not like talking about people just surrendering.
No.
Okay, cool.
There was a couple of Australians over there fighting in UFC that weekend.
Cool.
That's on Sunday morning.
Riggs in the Facebook group said the Roosters have bought really good game plans the last few weeks that have shut down opposition stars. Munster last week and Mitchell tonight. Also, can confirm the stadium is fucking grouse. So there you go.
Grouse, is it?
Grouse.
Truth.
That's somewhere I need to visit.
Right. Where are we? What's the next game? Oh, here we go. The Gold Coast Titans 27 defeated the New Zealand Warriors 26 at Mount Smart Stadium. Titans tries to AJ Brimson, Bo Firma, Jaden Candle, and Paul Turner. Tanner Boyd, 4 conversions and a penalty goal, and the critical field goal. And the Warriors tries to Arthur's, DWZ, Violea, and a double to Josh Curran. Reece Walsh, 2 conversions. Chanel Harris-Tavita, 1 conversion.
There was a point in this game where the Warriors were just doing as they pleased against the Titans and looked like they might go on with it and put 50 on them, and then they promptly did what the Warriors do and started falling apart. Then they come back a little bit, and the Titans kept coming and tied it up with a penalty goal.
The way it turned in this game so quickly at the end was crazy because I didn't see it happen. I visited my mum, watched the first half at her place, finished up the visit at probably about 15, 20 minutes in, driving just 3 suburbs to pick up my daughter from her grandmother's place on the way back home. And when I got out of the car, it was 26-12 and there was about 10 minutes to go if that. Picked her up, had a chat for a couple of minutes, thought the game's going to be well and truly over, get back in the car, and here we go towards the end of fucking Golden Point extra time. I was like, what the fucking fuck?
How did that happen?
I had to get home and get the KO and fucking wind it back and watch the last 15 minutes because how the fuck could this have happened? It's just one of those things that just didn't compute. Yeah,
there was some comical tries, which I thought was reasonably symbolic of some of what both teams have dished up this season. But the Bo Firma one, where you would have sworn blind it should have been a penalty for offside, and then he just grabs it and scores, and then the Violea just regulation hit up, puts some fairly basic footwork on and streaks away fucking 80 metres and scores under the sticks. It's crazy. Under 8 stuff. But Tanner Boyd, I don't know where he fits into the mix as far as the Titans go, or whether they're done with Toby Sexton or they're trying to give him more time to develop given he's so young. He's a tough nugget.
He's killing it. He's killing it in the Queensland Cup too.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me. But
yeah.
Boyd is obviously a very different halfback. He's a workman-like sort of guy. He doesn't have any, real flashy skill set. But
I feel like that's what you get out of Kieran Foran. So it's probably only one of those in
exactly.
there, next year. Mm. But look, we've had people telling us that the Tanner Boyd's fucking garbage and deserves no credit from from this show. I say my Tanner Boyd fucking shares have gone through the roof. They're fucking moving. I tell you, I'm selling them at the top.
Again, we talk a lot about the halves for the Titans. I still don't fucking understand how. You look at that Bulldogs team last year, right? That had people that wouldn't make other first grade sides. Look at the West Tigers this year. Mm-hmm. How many of those players, unless the Storm beg for them, how many of those players would
as
you
it
take
turns
into
out,
the team?
2. Adam Dury and David Nofaluma. That's it.
Well, that's it.
They asked for Ken Mamello as well, didn't they? I think he was on the list before Nofo, I think.
Yeah. But Nate, would you take let's say Foran staying at your club.
Yeah.
Would you take Dewey over it?
No, fuck no.
Exactly.
Fuck no.
Exactly. You know, would you take Hastings?
No.
Hang on, how did this turn out to be about the Tigers? You were
No, but
making
I'm
a
saying-
point about the Titans.
Yeah, but the Titans are in that similar position, fucking battling it out for the spoon. Look through their forward pack.
Yeah,
How
they got
many of
like-
those? How many of that pack would you take over Marty Tapau?
Yeah, like fucking most of them.
Exactly.
Even
You know,
their
you-
fucking hooker.
You would look at it. But you look at it, and you're like, well, fucking hang on. Yeah, Tino's fucking awesome.
Yeah. In a
Yeah.
second.
Like, he under a fucking proper coach that actually will tell the cunt how to play.
I can work with fucking Mo as well. And
Fafita's
Fafita
a
obviously
wrecking
speaks for
ball.
himself.
That's it.
Like, yeah.
You know, like the other teams that are down here, you look across and you're like, yeah, well, I get it. There is a talent deficit in some positions and a lot of them key positions. I don't get how the Titans aren't dominating teams in the middle at least.
Yeah.
For the fucking life of me.
Yeah.
What do the socials have to say?
Nothing good, I'm sure.
Oh, look, there was, you know. The trouble is, that all of our Warriors listeners are fucking, like, great quality people.
Yeah.
And it just saddens me that they fucking have to see this. But Dom,
Except for the fact that most of them are Kiwis.
he said, fuck me dead, can you cunts just finish the season off already? Noughts. As a Titan supporter, I'm sorry for subjecting everyone to seeing extra time of this bullshit. Hayden, he said, fuck me dead, did the Warriors just do a Tigers and literally fuck it at the end? Yes, they did. Thanks for the spoon, you cunts. I would suggest that the Warriors had a fairly minimal role in the Tigers winning the spoon this year.
None whatsoever.
Scott, with some fucking Dairy Queen vibes here, he said, my son was born on Monday morning and he's just come home yesterday. What a wonderful week it's been all around. There you go. There's a fucking ray of sunshine. Congratulations.
The only
man.
person on earth who hasn't seen the Titans lose. Is that what you're saying?
Well done. Hopefully he picks a better football team. Levi said that final 10 minutes sums up the whole season. Never showing any actual desire to win a game. Embarrassing. Maybe they should get them on the scaff for pre-season to show them what they would be doing if they weren't playing. There we are.
Okay, the Dragons, 22, defeat the Broncos, 12 at Netstrata Jubilee, and the Ben Hunt revenge game came true. The Dragons, 22, came through tries to Jack Bird, Cody Ramsey, and a double to Matthew Feeney with Lomax 3 conversions. The Broncos, the 12, came through tries to Hoyter and Billy Walters with 2 conversions from Adam Reynolds.
Completion of the end of season capitulation of Brisbane. I feel like in the end, despite showing promise and just maybe 6 weeks ago being in the top 4, ultimately I think they showed everyone they didn't really deserve to be in the
What's the
finals
worst
based on
capitulation?
their-
I think it's the worst capitulation all time, like in terms of, being in the top 4 to crashing out within the space of time that they did so.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Having said that, there's plenty to build on, and they've obviously got Walsh coming next year, and
Hang on,
I think
we just reviewed the Warriors game.
Yeah, like Brisbane's goal line defence is going to take a massive fucking hit, you would expect.
Yeah, that's fair. So, what are the, I guess the litmus test for Reynolds really is year 2 of his deal, as we've spoken about previously. What do they get out of him?
Particularly his durability.
And because he's always injured. We've said that once or twice on this show. But, their past month of football has been fucking atrocious. And
Well, fuck their past month of football. Their week leading into this game, when you've got fucking leaks in the media saying that players don't
aren't happy
go to
they got
Kevy.
roused on. There were players that were unhappy they got roused on by Kevin.
Yeah.
And then you've got fucking your mate from the fucking Chinese New Year talking about that Kevy doesn't coach the side, and everyone looks to Adam Reynolds to figure it out.
that's crazy.
Yeah, talk about a fucking backhander on the way out the door, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I immediately when I saw that, even though like it's chaos and it's fuck the Broncos, and I love that shit. At the same time, like I would never sign that cunt.
No.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that guy is not a team guy in
No.
any way, shape, or form. Fuck him.
Nah.
Like that is terrible.
Yeah.
And I think, and I heard he then got reamed by Reynolds, training
Yeah.
for going off.
Fucking rightly so.
Yep, because
Fucking
Reynolds is the
rightly
coach,
so.
obviously.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Ben Hunt, one final points grab en route to potentially winning the Dally M.
Yep, another 3 points.
His season's been remarkable, given how his teammates have performed. We've said it time and time again, single-handedly kept St George in games, won them games, just fucking outstanding all year.
And it's not just a matter of him being the best player on a garbage side. I mean, he's been the best player on the field in the games when they've won.
Exactly.
And sometimes when they haven't. But I mean, this game was like a genuine revenge game. He was setting up tries, making try-saving tackles, 40-20s, like he fucking everything.
Yeah. If you were looking at both of these sides, and we understood the hole that Brisbane had dug themselves into. But again, you get a neutral and you say one of these sides have a slight mathematical chance to make the postseason if they score enough points. Which one is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's the side that's trying absolutely fucking everything it can to.
And then you get that Steve Jackson fucking Phenoi try at the end as well, just to seal the result. Where it was great. He was speed and skill running an excellent line to get through, and then just like power and just fucking heart to claw his way to reaching distance of the line. Yeah,
that was fucking absolute gold. Has there been any resolution on Hunt's contract? Is he
not yet
signed for next year?
I suspect that the Dragons have made him a revised offer that's more to his liking, but. Yeah. The guy's going to be in demand, and his price tag's going to go up when he gets that fucking trophy as well in a couple weeks. So
fucking oath he is. Norts, he said Ben Hunt continued to fuck the Broncos after all these years. Well played, sir. Richard, he said, I'm so proud Gamble came back from the dead for this game. Now I can go seek credit next year. Bring on 23 when facing Wayne's jam rolls twice a year should give us enough points to crack the 8. Oh, God. That was fantastic. Let's go.
That's it. Okay, the Cowboys 38 defeat the Panthers 8 up there at the abattoir in North Queensland. The Cowboys tries to Taulagi, Drinkwater, Hamiso, Tabuai Fido, Reece Robson, and a hat-trick to Valentine Holmes. The conversions went 3 to Val and 2 to Chad. And the Panthers 8 tries to Jennings and to Ruva.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, we've spoken enough about this game, right, Glenny?
Yeah, fucking
I'm not sure there's too much to say about this. It was literally a B grade fucking resi side versus a side in the top 4. And still, it was a big win, but wasn't a blowout.
Well, 30-point wins are kind of blowouts. I mean, I understand the concept of Dairy Queen vibes 2022.
No. 30-point, not at all a blowout, considering the points that have been leaked by the Broncos and the Tigers and all of those other sides. Essentially, what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you're saying it wasn't 60.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So Penrith's fucking resi team would make the 8 in the NRL. They would beat the entire fucking bottom 8. They'd flog Canberra. So, it was an absolute fucking positive all round. I think, though, seriously, the biggest positives out of this one go to the Cowboys because that was a good run for them. They looked slick. Their attack looks good. And again, obviously, it's different when you've got an actual first-grade side that you're up against. But there was enough in that for them to really feel comfortable going into those finals. And fuck me, doesn't Valentine Holmes look good?
He does.
Yep.
He's just... And And look, it's not that he hasn't looked good all year. He looked absolutely fantastic in and up to and including Origin. Like, looked a different player. But right now, he's settled into his groove, and I think he's going to be the difference in how deep they go.
I reckon it's the best form he's ever been in, including his time at the Sharks.
And that was on drugs. Like, this is all natural. This is actually fucking... Like, he's actually earned this.
Sammy Sosa wasn't fucking hitting home runs after they fucking found out the creatine wasn't creatine.
Or what is... Did you see that AFL guy? Got kicked out of the casino for a bag of white powder came out of his fucking...
Having a bag of cocaine-esque looking powder on his person. And what did he say? It was crushed up anti-inflammatory medication.
Fuck,
so
mate.
So it was like crushed up Voltarens. Like, but did you hear as well that he's got some fucking lawyer representing him now?
He's now going to sue him.
It's like an anti-discrimination thing he's saying now.
Because he's disabled and needs fucking crushed up Nurofen.
Yeah, that's like the guy who gets trapped in a lie and he just has to fucking keep doubling down on that lie, and now he's going to take it all away.
Man, it's like, again, these are those lawsuits. Like, I remember years and years and years ago, when my old man worked in waste management. There was a guy.
Is that a euphemism for the mafia?
Tom Cruise's mafia.
worked in waste management.
Tom Cruise's mafia. Fucking clam cleanup.
And a dude like fucking cut a hole in a fence at a landfill.
Yeah.
Took his dirt bike in there and was riding his dirt bike around the landfill, jumping it over all the piles of stuff. Went in, fell off and went into a hole, because it's a fucking landfill. They dig holes in it and fill it. The clue's in the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he fell down a hole because it was nighttime.
The clue's in the name.
Broke both his legs and sued them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's if someone breaks into your house. I mean, you know, and they fall down the stairs and, you know, like they can trespass, but exactly.
Your fucking railing is dangerously unsafe, sir. Like I say. Again, the Penrith rested everybody. The Cowboys didn't. They won the game. Shock horror. So I don't think there's too much you can take out of this apart from the Cowboys look pretty smooth in attack.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do. I mean, because the only risk going into this game was if they got handled by an understrength Panthers side, then that would have been a massive fucking blow to the confidence. And
and I think from Penrith's point of view, this one was a really good one. You know, A for those players coming in. Oh fuck, that's first grade. That's what it's like. And if we're not careful, those are the results that we're going to have. So and then also for Penrith fans. So just remember how close every single fucking team is to mediocrity. I mean, for us, we have to lose every single first grader we have, but it's possible. You know, the fucking we don't want a fucking Richie Valens on the way up to North Queensland. To tell you that much. Rishi, he said, Chris Smith is consistently the worst player on the field. So far, his laziness in defence was the biggest factor in the first try. He dropped the ball cold in attack, gave away 6 again that led to the second try. I know I'm just getting things off my chest now, but I also saw him miss a tackle on a player not actively trying to break the tackle, and then he kicked after we got a 6 again. There we go. Tell us how you really feel. Jordan, the Bongwater and the Chad tearing the minor premiers up. Let's not mention the fact that there isn't a starting 13 player of the Panthers team, though. Robbie, kind of sad the Penrith Cubs are better than 50% of the competition. They are. Ben, can't believe the boys let the Panthers training squad score on them. Matt, fuck the result. Watching a big cunt running down a little cunt is just quality.
That was fucking brilliant.
That really was. I mean, like, incredibly poorly fucking managed by who was it that made the break? Was it Drinkwater that was running down the sideline? Like, incredibly poorly managed, you know, running away from his support, and also just like seeing the big cunt coming and just like, well, yeah, I've got him covered, and running himself away from his support to the point where he couldn't do anything about it, and he had to commit. But yeah, you got to fucking love it. You got to love it.
That's a fucking highlight. There we are. Next game.
Okay, the Sharks 38 defeated Knights 16 in Newcastle. The Sharks 38 came through tries to Metcalf, Mulatalo, Ramian, Lachlan Miller, and a hat-trick to Britton Nakora. Hines, 5 from 6 conversions. The Knights tries to Tex Hoy and a double to Dominic Young, with Tex Hoy getting 2 conversions. Knights started out all right. Competitive for a time.
Which they did the week before. That first half they put together the previous week was the best they've played in months.
Yep.
You know?
My biggest takeaway from this game is, as we said, Newcastle started pretty well and fell away. I think Cronulla took a little bit of time to warm into the game, but when they did, Moylan and Nico Hines, I thought, really took control and dominated and created space on the edges, which it all sort of amounted to the fact and the clear reality, certainly for Newcastle, that a side like Cronulla is on the, potentially on the cusp of a very, very successful era, with Hines there and still growing in his game, Fitzgibbon's coaching, etc. And Newcastle have pretty much the same ahead of them for the next 5 years. Competitive in patches in games and ultimately falling away and getting fuck all. It's a sad reality for Newcastle. No more than they deserve, because they're rocketing up the list of fucking fan bases that I think are cunts. But still, they're fucking long way from the Dragons. But yeah, I think Newcastle have fucked themselves for 5 years with the way they've managed their roster, in particular Ponga, but not just him.
And again, with the caveat, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about it and run through that, because it's not like Newcastle went, oh yeah, we're going all in on this fullback, when there's 10 other success stories of teams doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Like St George went all in on a representative half, and that hasn't paid dividends for them. So I think the lesson here is, in terms of roster management, not to go all in on anyone unproven.
Yep.
While you have a building squad. The really concerning thing here for me, if I'm a Sharks fan, is that they completed at 67%. And again, it's been a long season. They went in there and they understood that the opposition they faced weren't a top quality team. But if I'm Craig Fitzgibbon, I really would have wanted them to come out of that game, tuned up. Really tuned up. And the fact that they completed 27 sets in the entire game is something that will fucking expose them in the finals.
Agreed.
So that's a big watch out for them.
And coming up against the Cowboys side as well, they can't afford to have a slow start.
Yeah.
Or shit completions.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Exactly. Matt, he said, "Sexy Texie's butterfly tattoo does things for me." There we go.
Jesus.
They call you Sexy Texas for nothing.
That's it. Ben, he said, "Despite the Knights trying to bamboozle me with technology, I made it to my seat and thoroughly enjoyed the Britton Nakora masterclass that the kids got me for Father's Day. Bags of dicks for all the Knights fans." There you go. Chris, he said, "Doesn't Moylan know spraying Clemmer with a water bottle won't wash the shit off?" That was one of my favourite parts of the round, actually. Clemmer's in there being fucking Terry Tough cunt, and Moylan's just there with a squirty bottle. Oh, love it. Andrew, the Norths are only trying so they can fuck up their supporters' perfect rounds when they dipped against them. Ouch. That fucking hurts. There we are. That's it. Let's get on to the game of the round.
Raiders, 56. Feed the West Tigers, 10. Here we fucking
He
go.
wasn't talking about this game.
Raiders tries 2. Timoko, Fogarty, Chris, Kotrick, Rapana, Savage, Papali'i, and a double to Hudson Young. Fogarty, 7 conversions. Rapana, 2 conversions. And a penalty goal to Rapana with the Tigers, 10. Tries to Dane Laurie and Kenny Malmello with 1 conversion to Adam Dewey. Well, fucking, worse than the East game almost. 42-0 at halftime. Booed off the field at halftime the crowd that had gathered at Leichhardt potentially for one of the last times. Leichhardt faithful leaving after 30 minutes. Potentially one of the last times they're there to see a game. What say you, Glennie?
I don't have a great deal to say other than
It was fucking comical in like defensive.
This was an interpretive dance of our entire season for 80 minutes. It's just fucking embarrassing. There's no other way to put it. Just, you know, I know it's the last game of the season and we're resigned to winning the spoon, but, you know, and it's very pipe dreamy and very fucking, you know, maybe it's too high an expectation to think that, you know, when you're passionate about your team as a supporter and you've got guys that pull that jersey on and run out and clearly treat it like it's just a fucking job and they're a bunch of people that are unhappy in their workplace but don't have the stones or the intestinal fortitude or the fucking skill or ability to be desirable to be employed anywhere else. So they just trot out that week after fucking week is a fucking disgrace, to be quite honest. And, you know, the comments from Lee the lawyer, only I'll say that because I can't pronounce his surname. But, you know, when he was talking about that fan, who the fan was a dick, but he was like, oh, well, you know, why should I give a fuck about his opinion? He's not a member. He doesn't put money into the club. Well, when did that?
Are you talking about you talking about that old podcast beef?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, but when did that particular fan, like many others, stop putting money into the club and stop buying fucking membership or stop buying fucking jerseys every year because every year you pump hundreds and hundreds of dollars into these sorts of things and memberships, even just like me, away from home. Membership or whatever the case might be, but plenty of people stop doing that because these cunts just keep trotting out this bullshit year on year, and you're expected to come out every week and just, you know, Dairy Queen it and go, no, that's okay, boys. You know, we support it. Whoever's in that fucking jersey, and it's okay for you guys to put that out there. Like, get the fuck out of here. That game. The East game, the fucking Melbourne games over the last couple of years. Get the fuck out of here. You cunts fucking just kidding themselves.
Thinking about it though, and this is where I feel sorry for you. You guys don't even have that light at the end of the tunnel. You know, like oh well, at least we're going to get fucking top 3 draft picks next year.
Well, Munster's coming. I mean, let's not forget that Munster's coming.
Yes, Glennie, Munster's coming.
Thank you. I appreciate you agreeing with me.
Into a fucking sock as he looks at his Dolphins contract.
You can just imagine Noffer in his ear. Cam, fucking slip
you know
on
what?
up
He
Concord.
probably would have come, except for the fact that he's now had to spend extended time with David Nofaluma.
Yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, but judging from the tenor of David Nofaluma's interviews, I mean, he would have been saying, dude, don't.
Yeah.
No matter how much the money.
Absolutely.
Sure, yes, I agree. Your career is short and you need to earn while the sun's shining, but some things are fucking worth more than money.
and you deserve to not play for the Tigers as much as I deserve my Origin jersey.
That's it. You can also make money sucking dicks, but you're not out there doing that, Cameron, are you? So, yeah.
Well, look, you know, they came out better in the second half, though. Competitive, almost took the second half, Glennie.
Oh, I love that. We won the second half. Oh, yeah, cool.
I'm just trying to fucking light a candle for you here,
yeah,
man.
fuck your candle. Get your candle and jam it in your ass.
There's no candles. There's no candles.
Fucking candles.
On the socials. OG superfans, Saguna.
Fuck that guy too.
He said, I sent this to the Tigers. Please note, while typing it, the Raiders scored 3 tries. Fuck them all. No heart in the jersey. No structure. No defence. Just plain fucked. Heaven forbid they ring me up to renew my membership. I'll be telling them to fuck off nicely. I ask myself, why do I watch them every week when you know the result's going to be? They should give us all free memberships for next year. And I still won't go to the games. I honestly don't think what Sheen's going to do to change this team. Learn to wrap up the ball and tackle all off-season. Watching the game now, please stop the fight. Fuck you, West Tigers. Fuck you. Eat a bag of dicks, the lot of you. Now, someone please ban me on here for 6 months. Ryan, he said, has there ever been anything funnier than an angry ranger? No. It hasn't been.
He's held up the rest fault scarf now. He's one of us.
That's it.
We go, all past indiscretions are forgiven. Feuds of hatchets have been buried. He's our boy now.
So, it seems you can take Noffa out of the Tigers, but you can't take the Noffa out of the Tigers. Terry, I'm at Leichhardt, and the Tigers fans just booed the team back onto the field. Great news.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and that sums up the socials for the regular season.
There we go. As we move into the best time of the year, Glennie. NFL starting this week, baby. I was going to go into the ESPN fucking NFL theme song, but I don't want to sound too much like Bill Burr because I mean he loves to do it as well.
I don't know. We've had Glennie singing the fucking Skype song tonight. So.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not as nearly as triumphant as the ESPN one. But
the worst bit was Glennie put lyrics to it.
Bum, 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 do, 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 do.
They paved Periscope when I got a video call.
Fucking get your drawer out and put a fucking jingle to that, Nathan. Jesus. Tap your dick on your keyboard like you were before we hit record earlier.
It's true. Yes. I added a
tiny
drawer
dick.
to my. I added a drawer to my desk to place my massive dong and also my 88 keyboard as well to facilitate easy practice for my new stage show, which is called Pianist of the Penis.
If I was you, I'd be down there working, and every time the kids came in to ask me for dumb shit, like kids do, I'd like play them off like they were on like a late night talk show. Be like, oh, you know, Dad, can I have $50 for fucking something? You're like, nah, fuck off.
I have been doing that. I have been doing that the last couple of days. I've actually got I've actually got a tab on my phone with GarageBand open up with the keyboard, and I've been just walking around the house playing the Korn song and making up new lyrics to the song about Korn, and just to troll him. And it fucking drives Killy. It drives him fucking insane. Like, he just cannot deal with it. Any subject, we could be talking about anything, and I was whipping it out, dun, 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 start playing the Korn song. And he's just like, yeah, can't handle it. But
fantastic.
That's
some future trauma.
That Korn shit is fucking. That's like, you know, my Dairy Queen for the fucking postseason, I think.
Like, is that? Hang on, is it like the band?
No. You haven't. Yeah, there's that guy on who's got that YouTube channel called Recess Therapy, where he does like interviews with kids and stuff, and you know they come out saying cute shit, and there's that little black kid that's talking about how much he loves Korn. And then the Gregory brothers who did all, you know, like Bed Intruder and Dead Giveaway and that they turned it into a song.
Yeah, fuck yeah. No, I haven't.
And,
I have to look at that.
No, it's fucking. I'll send you the link to both of them. So you can see it first, because it's funny. This little fucking kid just loves Korn so much. I'm like, man, I wish I loved anything as much as this motherfucker loves Korn. I tell you.
Man, I need to go and listen to Dead Giveaway too. I haven't listened to that in ages.
Oh, it's so good. I can recall that song in my head any time.
So can I.
Times. Oh. We ate ribs with this dude.
Who didn't have a clue that Glennie was in his house. He said, "Please help me get out."
Yeah, Glennie's not yet wife was in his car. She said, "Please help me get out." Dead giveaway. And that's a song about how it's a dead giveaway when someone listens to Mr. Jones as much as Glennie does, that he's likely to be a kidnapper and forced marrier. Now, do you want to do news things, or do you want to do the finals games previews?
Let's preview then news.
Right. Okay. So finals week one. We're coming up, kicking off on Friday evening, and it's the 1v4 game. The Panthers take on the Eels, and the Panthers side. Welcome back. Nathan Cleary returning from suspension. Coruscant and Lemieux return from injury. And all of the players from last week who were rested return in their original positions. And the Eels side, unchanged from last week. The only change is in the extended bench, Nathan Brown in 18. Oh. And then that motherfucker evaporate over the past 6 months.
Nass is no longer the biggest tough guy playing this round.
Well, hey, he's in jersey 18, so someone's going to get knocked out for him to play. Yeah, someone's going to get knocked out for him to play. Right. Who's winning, Glennie? And
Penrith.
why?
Penrith, I think the way Ivan has managed the roster with rest and you know, the fact that Cleary had that time off with suspension, I think will work in their favour. I think they'll flick the switch. Regular season's over. It's now into the business end, and I think they'll be far too strong for Para.
Parramatta's got them every time this season, though. The only thing I wonder about the Panthers is, like, I don't think Parramatta are going to win the whole thing. They may get away with this week's game, but it's really just a matter of the Panthers have done a lot of resting and having suspended guys and injured guys in key positions over the last couple of weeks, and I'll just be interested to see how quickly they snap back into,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the forwards and the general, role in Isaiah, I think that sort of stuff is just going to snap back in no problem at all.
Yep.
And so they'll gain field position and they'll gain opportunities through that. We'll see about Luai and Cleary though, because I mean, there's been times where it has taken a little while for them to get back.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of whether the rest of it and Appy can sustain enough and create enough to ease these guys back in, and to just to see how effective they are. And because if they're not at their full effectiveness, I mean, the Eels have proven that they can score points against the Panthers pretty well, pretty consistently.
They certainly can. They certainly can.
And
the Eels are a danger out wide.
Yep.
Just they're big and strong, and when they get on a roll, especially the Sivo side, they're very, very, very hard to stop. They're very hard to stop. Penrith need to be almost flawless for this one. They can't have those lapses. They can't have those, shit, that didn't work, or that didn't happen as smoothly as we'd like it to. You might get one or two chances at that won't punish you a game come finals time. But the fact that they're all back together again, they would have been preparing for this moment since Cleary got suspended. So Penrith 13 plus, put your house on it.
13 plus, put your house on it, they say.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Not
we
they.
shall see. Well, yeah. So you say the Penrith. Didn't you say the Penrith are going to win easily though? But not by 13 plus, Glennie.
No, I don't think it'll be 13 plus. I think they'll control the game, but I think it'll be reasonably. The scoreline will be reasonably close.
All right. The first elimination final takes place on Saturday afternoon, 5v8. The Melbourne Storm taking on the Canberra Raiders down there in Melbourne again, as always. And even the finals games in Melbourne. The Melbourne Storm side, they welcome back Jerome Hughes in the 7, which gets rid of Cooper Johns, which is, quite frankly, that's a match-winning change just like that. The Raiders side, Whiten and Whitehead both rested last week. They go back into the side, which drops Hopewada and Frawley to the reserves.
Fuck, I forgot that happened. That makes that loss even worse, Glennie. You should be fucking ashamed.
Yeah.
I can't be any more ashamed than what I just described I was. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, he did refuse the lit candles in Dairy Queens. So, yeah, I'll back you, Glennie.
Thanks.
You were ashamed. You were suitably ashamed.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So, can the Canberra Raiders live up to this apparent hoodoo team status against the Melbourne Storm when it counts?
Well, I think the Storm are vulnerable, and Nate, as you pointed out so expertly in the review, I think they're vulnerable in the forwards. You know, they're not that dominant forward pack that they were, and if you can get up in their fucking faces, even the Bromwiches had fucking shocking games with their hands last week. You know, so, and one thing Canberra have on their side is a big, skillful, fit forward pack. So that's where the real opportunity lies. And then even looking at that back line, like, you know, Munster's a class of his own, you know, and so is Hughes, international player. But Canberra have some size and strength out wide in the back. So there's points there to be had. This is Canberra's for the taking. It really is.
Tipping an upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I don't think I'd go
No, not
that
at all.
far.
Melbourne will win. But yeah, look, again, you know, it's there for Canberra to take.
I expect Canberra to be punished as a team that doesn't deserve to be in the 8 and only scraped in there by virtue of a couple of fucking horrible ends to seasons. I don't understand the Storms. It's weird to see Storm fans so fucking terrified about a side. But honestly, I just don't think Canberra can go for a finals game for 80 minutes if the team they're up against puts it on. And I don't have any reason to believe that a Jerome Hughes and Cameron Munster featuring side, and not just the Cam Munster featured side, it's a massive fucking difference.
100%.
Huge.
Munster and Cooper Johns versus Munster and Hughes. I mean, that's one fucking player, versus two players.
Yeah.
So there's, I think the Storm would have learned their lessons from the tough games that they've had over the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
They would have been looking ahead to, week 1 of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think on a basic coaching level, it's a fucking mismatch there as well. And,
yeah, true.
We know that, Craig Bellamy's been preparing his sides for take the cap out of it. He's been preparing his sides for finals for like fucking 15 plus years.
Yep.
And is an expert at it, more so than probably any other coach.
Yeah, I agree.
At the moment. So like I just and Ricky is fucking Ricky.
Yes.
I mean, he'll pull out the OHP, send a few texts around, and
ultimately be outcoached.
and then ultimately, exactly. And he can send his texts from fucking Bali in a week.
Oh God! Sorry, just interject. I'm closing down fucking tabs here. I've got the stats up for the Knights v Sharks.
Okay.
And NRL.com now tracks dummy passes in a game. The Knights had went through 23 dummies during that game to the Sharks 3.
Jesus.
So I don't know if that was a strategy or not, but
that sounds like a ton of fucking players going into business for themselves.
Or every time a Knights player went to pass the ball, they saw that their teammates were actually other Knights players, decided not to.
It would have been that. What about that try? That try at the end there, the second one that Young scored with Clune with the dummies. I wonder how many dummies were off that one player. I reckon there's probably 3 in there, wasn't it?
Oh God. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
So we move ahead to Saturday night and the second qualifying final, 2v3. The Cronulla Sharks take on the North Queensland Cowboys. The Cronulla Sharks welcome back Will Kennedy at fullback, Rudolph at prop, Finucane at lock, and Tracy on the wing. McInnes and Hamlin Ueli drop back to the bench. And Miller, Ikuvalu, and Tolman drop out of the 17. The North Queensland Cowboys, they welcome back Cohen Hess from suspension. That pushes Jermaine Tanor-Brown to the 18 jersey. Here we go. Sharks at home. They wanted it. They got it.
They've earned it.
Yep. Cowboys this year particularly, I guess, travelling better away from home than they have in many a moon.
They are.
Yeah, I tend to favour the Sharks in this one. I think they'll handle the grind of the early exchanges and the forward battle early, and I think Hines and Moylan can steer them around and that experience and big game experience. is
The big game experience of Matt Moylan and Nico Hines. Is that
well,
what you...
Nico Hines' time at the Storm and just being around finals, big game and that preparation. I think that's an advantage to them compared to someone like Tom Dearden in the halves.
Yeah,
Very
Chad's
inexperienced.
fucking...
Chad's obviously a premiership winner. So
Chad single-handedly won a grand final against this side.
Single-handedly?
Yeah, single-handedly.
right.
Well, he had to play in a team and win a grand final with the single greatest loser in the history of the sport.
Do you understand the fucking emotional, technical, fucking historical baggage that he had to overcome? Because it wasn't just the biggest loser. I mean, it was also the fucking team itself. I mean, it was 50 years in. Like, I mean, that's fucking balls of steel. And,
Like, honestly,
and a mind like a fucking laser and skills like a calibrated fucking robotic machine.
If Ivan Cleary hadn't made Luke Brooks a Dally M half of the year, that would be seen as the single greatest achievement in the history of our sport. Is
Sharks.
somehow Chad Townsend winning Paul Gallen a premiership.
Sharks 13 plus.
There you go.
I don't see it. Don't see it, Glennie.
Fucking open your eyes, cunt.
I think it's
Understand
gonna be great.
rugby league.
I think it's a great game, and I think it's a one of the harder games to pick. I think because the round is great because there's all these great matchups that have various stakes and rivalries and whatever. But like these are the two teams, like the upstart teams of the entire season.
Yep.
Both sides were nowhere at the start of the season. Cowboys were widely tipped to be one of the teams vying for the spoon. Yeah. And so these two teams are both upstarts, and it's hard to see, which of these teams has the biggest upside this year. I mean, because both of them can score a fuck ton of points.
Yep.
The Cowboys, when they get their tails up, very very hard to stop. Fucking with their edge forwards.
I think a lot of this game's going to be determined by which Cronulla side shows up, as in, is it that side from last week that's going to complete at 67%? Or is it that Sharks team that are going to complete at 80 and be absolutely fucking ruthless? If North Queensland, and again, it's the same story we've been saying about the Sharks for years and years and years. If North Queensland get in there and get drawn into a Sharks style of game, they will get fucked over. The Sharks will outgrit them. I'm tipping North Queensland.
The thing that I like about North Queensland in this game is if they can keep it close until sort of 50, 60 minutes into the game, then I think that they have the superior speed and fitness and that sort of thing and the ability to generate points late in the game. I think the Sharks start to die off a little bit.
I also need the NRL chaos that is Chad Townsend fucking over the Sharks in the finals.
Yeah, you've sold me.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Need it.
In fact, Cowboys to win the whole fucking thing this year. That's where I'm at now at this point. Because the Cowboys, I mean, I got not necessarily any love for the Cowboys, but I mean, they've given me some good moments in my life. Like, I mean, for example, in 2015, when Glenn's FaceTiming his son, congratulating him on winning the premiership, as fucking Kyle Felt's winding up to fucking score in the corner in the final hooter. that moment,
not actually how it happened.
That's exactly how it fucking happened.
I remember
man.
it very well, and I was far more sober than you.
That was also the year that you did that 15-minute continuous non-stop power spew after the game. Which was the year after you passed out in the taxi on the way to the game. So your grand final recollections mean nothing to me because they're complete fucking fabrications.
Fuck, when you put it like that.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm tipping the Cowboys.
Yeah, I am too.
In a close one.
Hashtag
yeah, I'm excited about this game.
The final one was around the elimination final 6v7. The Roosters take on the Rabbitohs at Allianz Stadium, and the Rooster side, unfortunately, the calf injury has ruled Joey Manu out. That moves Momirovski to the centres. Tupou and Suwali return from injury. Nagama drops to reserves. Radley returns at lock with SST to prop, and Lodge is benched. And Adam Kieran on the bench. The Rabbits, Cook returns at hooker. Havili drops to the bench, and Mamazelis is out of the squad. Graham returns at centre. Paulo to the reserves. and Cameron Murray is safe to return following his HIA business in last week's game.
This is a tough one.
It is. It is, but I don't see the Rabbits withstanding a full game against the Roosters without losing, their cool or players.
So much of the Rabbits comes through Cameron Murray not being dead. And so they lost a lot in the first minute of that game, first 2 minutes of that game last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and while I highly rate Mamazelis as a hooker of the future, I mean, incumbent New South Wales 9 Damien Cook is obviously a big in to have for any side as well.
That's it.
At the same time, Momorowski has been responsible for some god fucking awful defensive reads, and is certainly no attack, and he's certainly not mentioned in the same stadium sport even as Joey Manu in terms of talent.
Yeah.
So the Roosters absolutely lose a lot there as well.
They do.
Roosters still $1.55 favourites.
Deservedly favourites.
I'm going to tip the big game presence of Mitchell and the return of Cook to alter the result from last week in the Bunnies' favour.
And how many times statistically? I really should have done the homework, but how many times historically? I mean, have you seen teams play each other in the last round, then back up the next week, and the result be reversed?
Reverses, yeah, true.
I don't necessarily rate Demetriou to the level of being able to play mind games and that sort of thing and turn things around that well, especially up against a guy like Trent. But
yeah,
it's hard to go past the Roosters because of the evidence that we have over the last couple of weeks. Not the Souths game, but just the way that they really manhandled the Storm the week before.
Yeah, certainly did.
And more. So it's tough to go past them, but I do expect a better outing from the Rabbitohs, and I expect it to be much more of a game.
At some stage, though, does that come in as a detriment against the Roosters? Like that, they've had by far the hardest run home of any team in the finals.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of needed it, though, because they didn't start playing until after Origin.
That's true.
But to the point where it was only a few weeks ago when we were ready to put a line through them so they can't make the 8.
Yeah, I mean, they were 9th or 10th. I'm falling against them.
They're in there because of Brisbane's collapse. That's why. They won some games, and like the Storm one, we didn't have Keed in for them. That was an upset.
Yep.
But really, they're there because of the downfall of some other teams.
Yeah, but I mean, they've displayed some fucking pretty good form, though.
Fucking oath they have. Fucking oath. But
they won some games.
I guess what I'm saying, they're 2 weeks ahead of everybody else in terms of finals intensity.
Yeah,
that they're playing.
For sure.
So at some stage, does that wear in and they're like, okay.
Having to play 6 weeks of finals football in a row rather than 4.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I mean, as a club and as some key players there, they've been there before, and their coach as well. I mean, they like the Storm. I mean, they know what they're fucking doing at this time of year as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So,
no, tipping the Roosters.
All right. So there you go. We're pretty much split on every game.
Yeah.
Except for perhaps the Storm one. So the Storms one. So there we go. That is week 1 of the finals. And now I guess it's time to go into the news thing. It's fucking weird. I'll tell you what, before we get to the news thing, I just want to bring the tips up as well, because we can just about almost put a fucking fork in that one for the end of the season as well. Perhaps. If it lets me log in. Fucking garbage system, this one. Since ESPN took over footy tips. Okay, new stuff. Well, the first one we want to talk about is the Taylor May situation here, where he has been found guilty of the charges of tossing that guy on the ground in the pub. No conviction recorded. Cop some fines and some compo and all of that sort of thing. And the NRL has gone away, thought about it, and decided that he is going to be fined a small amount of money and suspended for 2 weeks, but the suspension won't be served until the start of next season. Glennie, do you have any thoughts?
Well, no. So that's misleading. So the actual penalty was that he will be suspended for 2 regular season matches. It's not that they're going to suspend him for 2 matches, but have chosen to date it after this season. The punishment decided upon was 2 regular season matches.
Yeah, which is
an important distinction.
Oh, but they chose to do that. They chose to make them regular season games and not fucking just like
100%.
You suspend it for 2 weeks and it starts right now.
Yep.
Glenn, you got any thoughts on this one?
Look, I think he's probably going to look back on this and think that the situation he definitely could have handled a lot better. I think given the way that it's played out and the timing of it, I probably don't have a massive issue with the fact that they've made it 2 regular season games rather than 2 finals games. I'll probably there's been a bit of conjecture over that. I'm probably okay with it. Ultimately, and this is probably more a societal issue, but ultimately, if old mate's not fucking gobbing off at Cleary and was it Crichton, the other guy was there? If old mate's not gobbing off at them, then he doesn't feel the need to protect his mates or try and, in his own way, was trying to fucking sort the situation as younger guys, guys do, full of piss.
With violence, with brutal violence.
Yeah. So
what are you saying, Glennie?
Sometimes, it's also the situation where if old mate doesn't put himself in a position where he's drawing off at players to attract that level of attention or a reaction from someone, not saying it's right, not condoning it, but
sticks and stones, Glennie. Sticks and stones, mate.
You want to tell me about fucking sticks and stones?
Glennie, you use your words.
I'll use my fucking words.
Not your hands.
You shut the fuck up. I'll use my fucking hands as well.
Glennie,
after I tell you to shut the fuck up,
Glennie,
I'll backhand you.
We use our words, Glennie.
I'll backhand you. Is what I'll do.
We de-escalate situations with our words.
Do you really, mate? Do you really?
As public
when was
figures.
the last time? When was the last time you de-escalated a situation with your words, Uncle Nate?
Fucking daily, pal. Daily.
Yeah, look, the first thing I want to point out here, I've seen this in numerous places, and I was very fucking disappointed that I saw it in our Facebook group as well. Somebody made the comment that, the no-fault stand-down policy doesn't apply to Penrith.
Yeah, well, this is not a no-fault. I mean, learn what the policy is first.
Listen, dumb fucks. That policy is designed for people who are charged with serious offences to be able to be stood down while they go through the legal process. This has been through the legal process. It didn't meet the criteria because the maximum penalty wasn't enough to trigger the no-fault stand-down policy. Not that it doesn't apply.
Exactly.
The maximum penalty didn't allow.
At
for
least,
it.
if you want to criticize this situation, you just need to look at similar situations that weren't handled in the same way.
Yeah.
Like you had situations like Milford when he was essentially deregistered because he wasn't allowed to register a contract with a club on something that was also minor and ultimately wasn't even a thing even before the courts. And then he had to go through a course and all this other shit and jump through these hoops before they'd even allow him to register a contract to fucking train with the Knights and join the Knights, 6 or 7 months down the track. So that's something that's inconsistent. I mean, Jack Whiten was a situation where he was an altercation at a bar as well, or outside a bar, where his situation was he got fined $30,000 and fucking stood down for 10 weeks or something. So, I mean, again, you've got to look at the inconsistencies from past decisions, and then you've got to hope that there's going to be some consistency going forward in the future as well. And look, I've got no confidence that there being consistency in the future. Why? Because Volandis just makes up shit whenever he fucking wants, and then when he gets pressed on it, he goes, "I did it for the fans."
Yeah.
Listen, you dumb fucking horse racing cunt. No one gives a fuck about a fucking winger. If it was fucking Nathan Cleary, I could see your point. If it was like Luai, could see your point. Appy,
Yep.
could see your point. A fucking winger, no. Or if it's fucking Dylan Edwards, I could see your point.
Especially a May winger.
A fucking
Jesus
winger.
fuck Volandis.
Get the fuck out of here. No one is buying a ticket to the game to watch fucking Taylor May play for rugby league except for his fucking mother.
Yeah,
Like,
people watch it for Bizza though.
yeah, maybe, but he's not the one that's fucking. He's not the one that
No.
they're bringing back for the fans.
But he's still a
Also,
winger.
might I say, he's not the one that's going to go around fucking coward throwing people from the fucking shirt collar either.
That is true.
I mean, he's too busy. He's too busy fucking sucking his wife's toes, or on the red carpet or whatever he does. So,
Singing Boys to Men song.
buying his parents' houses and shit. He's not there. He's not there with his fucking his fucking revenge porn, fucking family boys, fucking booting sluts, and and the rest of it.
So the most disappointing part of all of this, is what Cleary's come out and said. Did you read what he said? Was it today or yesterday?
Well, he was like really happy with the way that he was the guy handled it or whatever. Something like that, wasn't it?
Well, essentially, he was trying to put on it. Well, yeah, look, I know it looks bad, but that guy had been harassing me all day.
Yeah.
Nathan's got to be allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes are okay. It's how we learn. It's how we grow. And he won't grow into a future immortal without making some mistakes. So I see many more to come. But
try being one of the This Week in League hosts and attending a grand final meet-up and tell me about being harassed all day. Fucking cry me a river, cunt.
Hey, Glennie, you had 5 years off, pal. You cry me a motherfucking river.
oh god. But 100%, that's the wrong fucking attitude to have. So if you're the rugby league team that are there celebrating your grand final win, that's fucking great.
A guy doesn't get an opportunity to harass you all day because you quietly move on to another venue or
exactly,
or have security deal with it, or
if there's there, oh well, okay, boys, we better move on. There's a guy who's a bit of a troublemaker,
have a word with security. They'll move him on for you. I'm certain.
That's it, 100%. But then also to come out and not just say, yes, well, I do like the fact that he, I believe he acted from a place of trying to look out for his teammates. As a club, we believe violence is never the answer. But it's so fucking simple for it to be a teachable, positive moment. Pretty poorly handled by Nathan, I think.
Yep, and just another one of Volandi's massive fucking goals that he's kicked this week in one of his weaker weeks. And look, I'm not across the AFL contract enough to discuss it, but look, it's not a great week for Volandis, and not a great week for him for his legacy, I don't think. The other thing we briefly spoke about earlier was Latrell coming out saying that Roosters fans, they boo too much. But then that's fine. He said Roosters fans are fucking throwing out shit, and he could have played it in a number of different ways.
Yep.
But the way he chose to play it was like invoking like Adam Goods, and like I guess bringing like a racial element to it as well, and roundabout calling Roosters fans racist, I guess. Where look, I'm sure there's an element in every fan base, but I think that the more important thing is that he's a player that was an important player to them who left, and you always got to give the Bronx cheer to the guys who used to be your guys that aren't anymore, and players who are like larger than life and focal points on clubs. Guess what? They get fucking booed. End of story. And look, I guess it's just a bit of another page to the Book of Feud shit that the Rabbits like to carry on with in the lead up to big games.
Look, yeah, and that's it. Here's the thing. There's two things here. One, maybe Latrell genuinely feels as if there is some racially motivated boos there. And not having had the experiences he's had, who am I to say that isn't real and visceral to him? So that's a valid point.
And can I just say, with they got that giggity guy in the Roosters fan base with that giggity sign. So, like, frankly, I got my doubts about a large. I mean, if that guy can be allowed to exist within a fan base, fuck, God knows what else is in there.
Two, Latrell may have just had an absolute fucking, great masterstroke move. Well, yeah, look, I can get these guys to shut up. So
yeah, looking at Twitter, I don't think that's worked out quite that way. I think the Roosters fans are going to have some special fucking extra booze for him this weekend.
There you go.
And they'll rightly be singled out for being the racists that they are when they do so.
Correct.
And what other news stories? We're at the Manly stuff, and like I spilled a little bit of tea on the member side. So if you sign up to the Patreon, congratulations to you. You got some of the good stuff, straight from the fucking source. But ultimately, we thought that the West Tigers were the darlings of the fucking News Limited guys and the NRL 360s, and for making up shit on the show, having an argument about it, and then writing it as a story the next day. But holy fuck, this week they have absolutely fucking outdone themselves and set new fucking limits of ridiculousness, including situations where like Paul Kent was saying something with a smile on his face, trolling, and that getting printed as a fucking article. As a rumour, and you're going, motherfuckers, you literally just generated your own fucking thing.
Was that thing where he's like,
the Wayne Bennett Cafe thing?
I've heard this, not confirmed, not this, and the cafe owner won't ring me back, but I'll still fucking say it.
Yeah, and he was sort of saying it with a smile on his face, like he was like, yeah, obviously this is bullshit, and I'm just sort of like trolling or whatever I'm doing. But then it gets printed as an article the next day. So look, if you want to distill things down to facts, these are the things that I can say that are facts, and not all of these are probably public, but these are the things that are actually facts. First thing, at the end of the season, the way they had losing 7 games, it's great that the club says, listen, we're not going to wait 4 years or fucking 2 years of Hook or fucking however many years of Madge or whatever. 7 games is enough for us to say that's not fucking good enough, and we need to figure out what's going to happen to turn things around. And nobody's beyond scrutiny. And so for starters, that's fucking great. I mean, like, I know the results-driven business thing was like a meme around a time when fucking Tuvi got the asshole.
Because you made it one.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, look, what am I going to do? I mean, of course. But... But it is, and I mean, I love the way they treat it that way. And I mean, there are certain areas within the organisation of the football department that need to be changed. For example, Hasler obviously runs a very like an authoritarian sort of like regime in there and tries to run the football department the way he wants to do it and install his own guys and everything like that. And there are guys there that just simply aren't good enough at their jobs. Like Chad Randall, he's not a good assistant coach. Mona's not a good assistant coach, and they're kind of like yes men, and so you need to plan for the future because one of those guys cannot step up and become the head coach in a year or 2 years or whatever. So you need to put these guys in. So look, I've got no problem with that, and the way that it's been put, and these are the facts of the situation, the non NRL 360 facts of the situation. The gist is that what Manly want to do is they want to move on the support, the non-performing support staff. So that means Chad Randall. Now he's mates with Cameron Ciraldo. He's going to end up at the Dogs. Michael Monaghan, he's going to end up back home at Canberra. Mm-hmm. Donnie Singe gone for strength and conditioning, and Noel Cleal would be getting fired, but he's going to retire because he's old as fuck. So he's going to retire as a face-saving sort of measure. So it's not like there's this big war between the Fultons and Des. It's more like the Pens, who Des instigated open war with over the Pride jersey business, and mostly driven by Zorba. To this day, that fat Greek cunt still meddles in so much fucking shit because of his, by marriage relationship to the Pen family. And the Pens, I mean, Des has his ways about him, and the Pens are sick of his antics. But, that's not a Fulton thing. That's a Pen thing. And even so much of this is driven by a single offhand statement in 2011. You remember back in 2011 when fucking Zorba said something about a reporter or so, called like a good sort or whatever?
Yeah.
And he got fired as a Manly media manager as a result of that. Now, when that was going down, Des was asked by the powers that be, look, if we were to fire Zorba as the media manager, would you have a problem with that? To which Des replied, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was apparently pretty close to this: I don't give a fuck if that fat cunt's not the media manager. And that got back to Zorba, and every fucking thing ever since that you've read in the media regarding Manly and Des stems from that one line. Now,
so is this essentially like that time Obama made fun of Trump at the dinner?
And it's created a supervillain.
And that's it.
Yeah, and so honestly, the day that Zorba, I mean, like, I don't want to wish death on anyone, but perhaps mental incapacitation or something. Like the day that he's removed from any involvement, he's not involved, but I mean, he still has these media contacts from years and decades of being in the media, and being a media guy, and so now onto the facts of the actual situation, what's happening here. Like the Fultons are frustrated a little bit with Des in terms of not bringing the kids through fast enough that they bring into the club, because they're the ones that bring in a lot of the youngsters that we're seeing, like Kohler and all these guys, like Hamoli and guys like that. But also at the same time, they said to Des, at the start of the year, like, we'll extend you if you make the top 6. So that immediately puts him in like a win now mode where you're like less risk averse.
Yeah,
to bringing the kids through and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I understand both sides, because I mean he's trying to activate the new contract and everything like that, and he can't like gamble on the wholesale blooding of kids and everything like that. Like he had big plans for Schuster this season, but Schuster didn't hold up his end of things, so he's had to have a fucking wake up call on that as well. So I saw another article today saying that Des is not even going to show up to the meeting tomorrow. No. There's 2 meetings tomorrow. The first one is the state of the club and the staffing for next season. The second part is about Des, which is the part that he'll attend. And he's not. I mean, he's requested to attend the second part. He's not involved in the first half. So that's where that sort of. I mean, and it's just so stupid how like news. Oh, he's not going to show up to the meeting. No, he's going.
You're right. He's not, but he wasn't invited.
He's showing up to the part. He's showing up to the part of the meeting that he's required to fucking be there for. And like
again, goes to show, like, just how fucked journos are, that they don't have that basic fucking comprehension of how meetings work.
Oh, and that you can, all this, and all this other fucking shit about the turbos doing this and the turbos doing that, and there's a falling out between fucking Jake Tavoyevich and fucking Daly Cherry Evans. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Those guys are fucking tight as Manly fucking rugby league fucking players. But you know what?
Yeah. Shock horror. Someone doesn't want to hang out with DCE socially. Well, why is this fucking newsworthy?
Well, shock horror. Why does shock horror? A 33-year-old guy with 3 small children is not fucking living the same social lifestyle. Is not living the same social life as a 28-year-old guy who was living with his parents until a year ago.
Yeah, like because the last time he had him round to the house, DCE fucked off and then came back 3 hours later begging Jakey to put his drawing on the fridge, seeking some sort of fucking validation from him. So he said never again, never inviting him again.
And there's Jay Rothfield fucking just making shit up and publishing it on his platform.
Fucking oath.
So
I love it.
So So that's the facts as I've established through my network of people who aren't fucking employed by Fox or panelists on 360. And so that's what we'll see borne out tomorrow. Now, hopefully, what the club want to do is they want to go hard in for someone like Jason Riles, especially, or Dean Young, to be planted in there as an assistant for next year, and then go in line with a succession plan. Jason Riles is highly thought of because for a couple of reasons. One, he's from the Storm system, coaching system. 2, he's been through the East Coast coaching system. And 3, he's one of those guys that seeks knowledge outside of rugby league coaching and from other sports and all that sort of stuff as well in terms of, coaching techniques and stuff. So, if they can get him, that would be I think their number one target.
Look, I did my certificate the other day. I'll go in.
Well, you can get in line after Dean Young. How about that?
There you go. Fuck
because I'd rate you ahead of Hannah, who I believe is probably third on the list. So that's the situation as it is, and yeah, my God, like it has been a fucking banner week for fucking Fox and NRL 360 and their self-perpetuating cycle of bullshit articles based on bullshit that they said themselves on their bullshit TV shows.
It's pretty fucking bad now, hey.
Oh, this week especially like when you know for a fact like how some things are, and you just hear and you like, am I fucking in crazy town? This is fucking like when people are actually saying like just blatant bullshit, and you're going, like, am I fucking like they're gaslighting me personally this week?
Some Magado-esque, am I taking crazy pills?
Oh, fuck me.
Anyway, is there any other news?
Look, I don't know. Let me just talk about yourselves for like a minute, and I'll see if there's anything else. Something that's not fucking Manly related. We've done the fucking Cleary thing. We've done all that shit. God, they're still talking about Trent Barrett at the Dogs. I don't fucking know why. Get over it, can't see it's long gone. No. Okay, so we could talk about Cam Munster. Glennie's obviously, invested in him, heading over to the Tigers.
No, we spoke about that during the Storm Tigers game. Noffa spoke to him and said don't, so he won't.
Yeah. So he has confirmed though that the Tigers have approached him, and he's put his contract Hawks on hold until the end of the season, which could see him waiting until November 1st when he's free to negotiate and start seeking offers from other clubs.
The West Tigers.
The club chairman of the Melbourne Storm told Triple M, they told the Sydney Morning Herald that he wasn't sure that a deal could be done before the deadline on November 1st. So, and they say that if he gets to November 1st and he hasn't re-upped with the Storm, then they feel like they're going to struggle to keep him. So there you go, Glennie. If you can make it to November 1st without him putting pen to paper,
or a fucking shot,
your dream might come true. You might be in. It's been Benji. Benji's the one that's been approaching him too. And he's pretty close to Benj, apparently. So I guess that bond they have of literally never fucking playing together in any team or representative squad ever. It's really forged a fucking close relationship. Anyway,
that's us. How good.
That is us. I did have the tipping up. Let me quickly just see if we can crown a king here on the tipping. No, I don't. I fucking closed it. I made a lie around myself. Unlucky. Tipping, I'm sure you're doing great. Keep doing it. You've got a couple
next week.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Person at the top of the tipping competition, mate, you're doing a great job, champion. You just got to close out these next 3 weeks and you're fucking home free, bud. And that dude coming second and third, pick the upsets. You never know. It might fall your way.
Hang on. We're just going to insert a minute of silence here so you can record your own name in here. So hang on, just what a great job you're doing in tipping to be that far ahead at this stage of the season. You should be really proud.
And also, I really love the name that you selected for your side in the tipping competition as well. Super creative, and the way you've themed it around the team you support. Good job.
Yeah, a play on words used in a tipping team name. Stroke of genius.
And that is it. 493
in the bag.
Enjoy the finals. Enjoy the NFL, and we'll talk to you guys. Look. Glennie's going to be in Singapore. We're going to have to do a members-sode on the weekend, one of these finals games. Jay?
Yes, we are.
Do the Manly one.
Can we do your one? Oh, no, we'll do the Tigers one. You're fucking smart, cunt. Now.
No, not Friday night.
The fucking Tigers haven't made the finals for fucking ever, cunt. Jesus, you'd think you'd know something about rugby league.
What do you reckon it's going to be? Sharks Cowboys then? Second half
Probably.
of that one? All right.
Probably.
That's going to be exciting too. That one's not going to be over at half time, so it'll be good. All right, that's what we're going to do. And so we'll be back on the air then. Otherwise, we will be returning for the regular episode on Wednesday night next week, given the massively reduced...
Let's do two. I can't do these 2 hour ones anymore. I'm fucked.
Yeah, but there's only going to be like 4 games to recap
4
and 2 games
games.
to preview.
Yeah, it'll go 2 hours again. You fucking watch.
I'll keep it to
I'm
a
back.
double raw.
I'm back to Thursday night if you wanted to push it and we can do it together. Otherwise, you want to cut me out and fucking start your own little fucking cool group again. Do it yourselves. You cunts.
We'll definitely be back next Wednesday.
What? They don't have the fucking internet in Singapore.
Fuck off.
Figure
Take
it
a
out. You
fucking
can
laptop,
fucking
you lazy
5 or
fuck.
6 o'clock. What would it be? Like 5 p.m. or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
5:30 p.m.
That's good.
Oh no,
Appreciate
I'll be up to my nuts in fucking nuts in fucking testicles at the 4 floors of halls by then.
Like, what are you doing? Are you staying at a fucking opium den?
Oh, I don't know.
Get a fucking
maybe.
LAN cable.
It's one of the most technologically
This
fucking.
cunt fucking having a crack at me and fucking, in his own words, took a knee because he had a fucking toothache. Or was it a sore throat or a fucking firecracker accident with Tyson Gamble? I don't know what it was. Took a fucking knee. Shut up.
Coronavirus. Shit is real.
Never tested positive at all. It's fucking
No,
lie
that's
and a myth.
that's how you maintain your perfect record by just never testing positive.
Still a pure blood.
Never testing yourself.
You just be really sick for a week.
Good times.
All right.
Ah, boy,
Yeah,
yes.
I'll talk to you
Okay.
fuckers later.
See ya.
Later.